You guys showed a ton of support on the Deal or No Deal video I made a week ago. I always say those type of videos where your guys' comments are featured are some of my favorite to make, so today that is exactly what we are going to do, except it's not going to be a Deal or No Deal. Over a year ago, I made a couple of NHL Over or Under videos prior to the start of the 2019-20 season. For those of you who haven't been subscribed to the channel for a very long time, you probably don't know how this works. Basically, I posted on my community tab asking you guys to comment a player and a goal or point total for next season. I go through, pick out some, and then I predict if I think that player will get over or under the point total or goal total that you guys gave me. I really enjoy making predictions, so I'm pretty excited to make this video, and it's something cool that I can look back on at the end of the 2020-21 season and see how well I did. Real quickly before we begin, as always, if you guys are new to the channel and you want to see more NHL content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button, and let's not waste any more time and jump right into the video with the first comment. From Viper X, Lafreniere, 20 goals, 65 points. Obviously, Lafreniere is going to be a member of the New York Rangers, as we all know, unless something crazy happens, and I would say he will probably be in the lineup right away and probably have a prominent role at that. However, I don't really like to put crazy expectations on teenagers coming into the NHL. I feel as though it's not really fair to do that. But 20 goals and 65 points, I would say that's pretty reasonable, especially when you consider how much hype there is surrounding Lafreniere and how much hype there's been around him basically over the past 2 seasons. He is seen as a franchise-altering player, so I'm definitely going to say over 20 goals and 65 points. I wouldn't be surprised if Lafreniere is up around a point per game next season, but then again, I also wouldn't be surprised if he only gets like 40 to 50 points. With players that haven't played in the NHL yet, it's really tough to predict. Next up, we have a comment from Robert P, who says Nick Suzuki, 25 goals, 70 points. Obviously, Nick Suzuki was one of the top rookies from the 2019-20 season, 41 points in 71 games. He looked even better in the playoffs than he did in the regular season, 7 points in 10 playoff games. I'm a big Nick Suzuki fan. I think he's only going to continue to get better. His average ice time per game from this season was about 60 minutes, which is pretty normal for a top 6 forward. I would expect that to go up slightly next season, but 25 goals and 70 points. That would be a pretty big increase in production. I think he's capable of it, but I'm going to go ahead and play it safe here and say under. If I had to make a prediction on what I think Nick Suzuki's totals will look like next season, I'm going to go with like 20 goals and maybe 55 to 60 points. Continuing on, we have a comment from Klondike Bar who says Andrei Svechnikov, 40 goals. This is a pretty interesting one. Svechnikov scored 20 as a rookie in 2018-19. This past season had 24 goals in just 68 games, looked really good in the playoffs with 7 points in 6 games. It's unfortunate he went down with that injury and his playoffs were cut short. If I'm not mistaken, I think the Carolina Hurricanes said that Andrei Svechnikov will be ready to go and fully healthy to start next season, which is great news. The amount of improvement Svechnikov has shown in just his first 2 seasons is pretty crazy. I definitely think he will have a 40-goal season or 2 throughout his career. As far as next season goes, 40 goals, I'm going to say under, but I think it's going to be slightly under. I would say it's going to be really close. I predict him to be in like that 35 goal range. But again, like I said, the amount of improvement he's shown so far throughout his career, I would not be surprised if Svechnikov scores 40 goals and is like a 90-point player next season. He really is that good. Moving on now from Level Up Sports, I like the way you think. OhNyquist 100k subs by the end of the year. I'm going to have to take the under on this one, considering it's August 30th now, and there's not that much time left in the year. If that happened by the end of the year, you guys would definitely be getting a face reveal, but I would say 50k by the end of the year is a little bit more realistic. Next comment from the Nasty Matt, Teemo Meier, 60 points. I love me some Teemo Meier. I always have a soft spot for the guys that came through the Halifax Mooseheads organization in junior because I was able to watch them play live. 2018-19, Teemo Meier had 30 goals, 66 points, and then this year, a bit of a down year with just 49 points, 22 goals, but a lot of people in San Jose had a down year. It was just a rough season in general for that entire team, so I wouldn't really look too much into it. I definitely think Teemo Meier can bounce back. I'm easily going to take the over on 60 points. I can definitely see him having a similar season to what he did in 2018-19 when he did break the 60-point mark. Moving along now, the next comment from Rise of Sugars, Jack Hughes, 47 points. Jack Hughes was actually in the over or under video I did over a year ago. He was in one of the 2 ones I made. I think the point total from the comment was 60 points. I actually said over. As we all know, Jack Hughes didn't exactly exactly have an ideal rookie season for a number 1 overall pick. In 61 games, 7 goals and 14 assists for 21 points, a -26 rating, so I was definitely wrong. He wasn't anywhere close to 60 points. However, I'm going to roll with Jack Hughes again on this one, and I'm going to take the over on 47 points for sure. I think he's going to prove a lot of people wrong next season. The amount of people I saw calling Jack Hughes a bust after just 1 season is pretty crazy. I mean, pump the brakes. He's 19 years old. There's a reason he was the number 1 overall pick. I think Jack Hughes is going to be just fine, and I would be shocked if Jack Hughes doesn't score more than 47 points next season. Next up, we have a comment from Hockey Man who says Kapanen 25 goals and 55 points. I really wanted to feature this in the video because Kapanen is obviously a player who was recently traded, who is going to be in a completely new situation next season. Penguins GM Jim Rutherford said he believes Kapanen solidifies their top 6 and said he will be playing with either Malkin or Crosby, so that's a really big opportunity for Kapanen. Granted, he did get the opportunity to play with some really talented centermen in Toronto. He just really underperformed this season, 13 goals and 36 points in 69 games, when last year he had 44 points and 20 goals. Anyways, getting to the point now, 25 goals and 55 points over or under. This one's really tough because I could see Kapanen scoring 30 goals and being a 55 to 60 point player, but I could also see him having a season similar to what he just had. Kapanen is pretty inconsistent. I'm going to take the under on this one, but I mean, if he plays on the line with Crosby for a full season, who knows what could happen. And the Penguins are banking on him to play well because they gave up a lot to bring him in. The next comment comes from Bruce Evans, Dylan Larkin, over under 82 points. You guys know I had to have a Red Wing in the video. Larkin is one of my favorite players in the entire NHL, so I'll try to keep the bias out of this. After putting up a career best 73 points in 2018-19, Larkin followed that up with 53 points this season, so kind of underwhelming, a 20-point drop-off in his offensive production, but I mean, the whole Red Wings season was a disaster. The team was a train wreck. Some nights Larkin looked like a beast this season, and some nights it looked like he really just didn't want to be there, along with pretty much everyone else on the Red Wings though, so I don't really blame him. Definitely think he will do better next season than he did in the 2019-20 season. However, I don't see him scoring more than 82 points, so I'm going to take the under on this one. I'm going to keep my expectations low, and then if I'm wrong, I'll be happy about it. Moving along now to the next comment. This one comes from Jesse Pitkanen, Miro Heiskanen, 55 points. Without even thinking too much about this, I am definitely taking the over. Heiskanen has been one of the most impressive players so far in the 2020 playoffs. So far, Miro Heiskanen is over a point per game with 15 points in 12 playoff games. Those numbers from a defenseman would be extremely impressive in the regular season, but to do that in the playoffs as a 21-year-old is pretty insane. If Heiskanen even somewhat carries that play over into next season, he is definitely breaking the 55 point mark, so I am easily taking the over here. Just can't say enough good things about him. If somebody came back to 2020 from the future and said Miro Heiskanen did not win a Norris Trophy in his NHL career, I would genuinely be shocked. Next up from DeBoss YT, speaking of players that have been very impressive in the playoffs, Anthony Beauvillier, 30 goals. Beauvillier has broken the 20 goal mark once so far in his career. That was back in 2017-18, has scored 18 goals in each of the past 2 seasons, and in the playoffs so far has 7 goals in 12 games. I've really been waiting for Anthony Beauvillier to have that breakout season. It's definitely in there. He's a very, very skilled player, but 30 goals, that is a pretty big increase, and as a member of the New York Islanders, I feel like it might be especially tough because their system is more defensive oriented and it's kind of offense secondary. I'm gonna take the under on this one, but I definitely think it will be close, and I hope I'm wrong because like I said, I've been waiting for Beauvillier to have that breakout season. Next comment comes from Abominable Breaks, who says Kirby Dach, 50 points. Kirby Dach quickly became one of my favorite players to watch in the entire NHL this season. As a rookie, he didn't put up ridiculous offensive numbers with just 8 goals and 23 points in 64 games, but he is just so fun to watch. And in 9 playoff games with the Blackhawks, he had 6 points and looked a lot more comfortable, I would say, than he did in the regular season. You saw him trying to pull off things maybe you wouldn't have seen him try and pull off earlier in the year. So over or under 50 points for Kirby Dach. This is a tough one. If I had to predict what I think he will do next season, I would probably stay in the 45 to 50 point range. So again, this one's tough. I'm gonna say under, but I think it's gonna be very, very close. Moving along now to the next comment. This one comes from Eric71, who says JT Miller, 92 points. Miller was one of the more surprising players from the 2019-20 season, a breakout year of 27 goals and 72 points in 69 games. He has also been great in the playoffs and overall has just been a fantastic fantastic pickup for the Vancouver Canucks. I remember when this trade first happened, so many Canucks fans were upset that they gave up a first round pick, but I mean, I'd definitely say he was worth that first round pick. Anyways, 92 points, over or under. I feel like that is definitely a little bit high for JT Miller, even considering what we saw from him in the 2019-20 season. I'm definitely going to say under, although I wouldn't be surprised if he's up around and a little bit above a point per game again. And now for the final comment of the video from Molunda18, Leon Draisaitl, 55 goals, 115 points. I have a hard time believing that he can achieve that next season. I mean, this season he was incredible. 110 points, 43 goals in 71 games. I definitely think he will probably break the 100 point mark again as long as he stays healthy, as long as McDavid stays healthy. They just get so many points together on the power play. It's ridiculous. 55 goals and 115 points. Draisaitl is an offensive beast. I don't know if I see him scoring 55 goals. I wouldn't really be that surprised if he breaks the 115 point mark, however, but I think I am going to take the under on this one and just play it safe. That is going to do it for this video. I really hope you guys did enjoy, and if you want to see more NHL over or under videos before next season starts, be sure to leave it a like and let me know you guys enjoyed it. And also, if you have any other ideas for interactive videos we can do on the channel, let me know down in the comment section below. And as always, if you guys are new to the channel and you like what you saw and you want to see more NHL content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys all in the next video.